Starcasting to you from the City of Angels. Hello everyone, I'm Karis. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the Voice of Astrology podcast. This is your astrology cosmic superpower for the week beginning Sunday, September 15th through Saturday, September 21st, 2024. Let's journey together with astrology and explore how to connect with the stars, the planets, the energies for our new week ahead. The sensational September night sky brings us on the 15th and 16th the bright waxing gibbous moon. It hangs near to Saturn in the east after sunset. On September 17th, the moon will occult or pass in front of the planet Saturn. They will set together a few hours before dawn. September 17th, we have the full harvest moon with a partial eclipse. On September 18th, the moon reaches its perigee. That is the closest to the Earth. Expect extra high tides. On September 20th, Neptune is closest to the Earth, only visible, though, with telescopes. The 7 original planets, or the OGs as I call them, that you can view without aid of telescope or binoculars. You can see them just like the original ancient astrologers did, are lined up this week as such. We are starting off the week with the Sun in mutable Earth Virgo, ruled by Mercury. Mercury is at home in the sign of Virgo. It's at home, it's domicile and exaltation. The week is starting off with the moon in fixed air Aquarius. Venus is in her home placement in cardinal air Libra. Mars is in its fall placement in the sign of cardinal water Cancer. Jupiter is in its detriment in the sign of Gemini. Saturn is retrograde in the sign of Pisces. Sunday, September 15th, the week starts off with a grand trine in the element of air. Venus is in Libra, Jupiter is in Gemini, and the moon is in fixed air Aquarius. Now, the Venus trine the moon is excellent for communicating what you love, how you feel, what your needs are. This is the moon in Aquarius. This Venus trine the moon in the element of air is the support for better communication. It's also the support to express the kind of relationship you would like to have and how you define for yourself what is a great relationship. Now, this grand trine in air connects to Jupiter and Gemini in its detriment. Jupiter is at home in Sagittarius. When Jupiter is in its detriment, the furthest away Gemini from its natural home placement. This is not a good placement by what's called condition or dignity in astrology. So to tie into this or connect to this grand trine in air, if and when the conversation potentially goes down the road of gossip, the he said, she said, that's the Jupiter in its detriment, which means know when to quit. Because the grand trine in air, especially the moon, Venus trining each other, is very supportive. But when we bring in that Jupiter in Gemini, which is a chatterbox, and Jupiter keeps going and going, knowing when to complete the conversation, and also the awareness of what direction you do not want the conversation to go into, which is the negative gossiping component. But overall, this is a lovely configuration that we have to start off on the Sun's Day, September 15th. Monday, September 16th, we have Venus in Libra at 22 degrees, which is Spica, the sweetest star in the heavens, making an opposition to Chiron in Aries. The Venus opposition Chiron being where the wound is in the sense of your identity, how you see yourself, how you define your unique person. The Venus making an opposition there is the frustration between how you see yourself and getting what you want in the relationship. Venus, of course, is all about the love and the peace and the harmony, adjusting that or bringing into balance the Venus in Libra, where the initial wound of who and what you are, and when it's in Aries, to express very confidently who and what you are. So bringing these two things into harmony, meaning the Venus opposition, the Chiron, is some work to do as we start off on the moon's day. Also, we are in the waxing gibbous moon phase. We're not quite at the moment of the exact full moon, meaning there is still more room for growth. The moon has moved into mutable water Pisces and is making an applying conjunction to Saturn retrograde in Pisces. An emotional day, to say the least, because the intensity and the fullness of our feelings are growing, almost at the completion moment. But we will get there as we approach this eclipse that we have coming up. Tuesday, September 17th, we've got the full moon making this eclipse 25 degrees Pisces. Now, 25 degrees Pisces is a close degree to the exaltation placement of Venus. We are looking at the moon, of course, and an eclipse is an eclipse of light, meaning something leaving, something that needs to be and will be eclipsed out of our life. Because of this degree, the moon, overall, what this is that over the next 6 months, if not sooner, any female in your life that needs to go will go. Someone or someone's with too much emotion, they're too draining, it's constant drama, they're too needy. Venus exalted is like Venus that is amped up. It's just too much. And so females in your life, and also because the moon is a mirror, our satellite that reflects back to us how we are and our true image of ourself. If we ourself is the female that is too dramatic, too emotional, too heavy with emotion all the time, making too much of a big deal all of the time, meaning emotional, the moon, then it works with the inner and the outer, the sun and the moon. The sun is the outer expression in the sign of Virgo. It puts a great emphasis on what is best for your overall health and well-being. Remember, Virgo is the sign of the zodiac that takes away what is fake, false, toxic, and unhealthy. This is a harvest moon. What to keep, taking stock of all of the hard work, what we have reaped as we have sown, with a strong emphasis on health, with the moon opposite in the sign of Pisces at this particular degree. So the inner and the outer, what's in the inner world, and also the outer world as far as the emotions that have become too dramatic, just too much all of the time. And it particularly connects to females and or female energy that must be and will be eclipsed at this time, because it is draining and has become very unhealthy. In other words, the ability to lighten up and see the humor in things and not take everything so seriously all of the time is a great lesson with this full moon at 25 degrees Pisces. Sure, there are events and things in life that warrant emotion and very deep ocean of emotion, as I always say about Pisces, but to live that way, to be in that energy state, psychologically, emotionally, all of the time, is one, not good for the health, certainly not balanced, and it is just not realistic. Everything isn't a big emotional deal all of the time. So one of the great things about this full moon is it can show us, reflect back to us, how lightening up and taking things with a sense of humor is just as important as all of the deep emotions. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's the sign of endings, what we are to say goodbye to. So anyone, male or female, that is just too much, too emotional all of the time, you would want to reflect on this with this full moon and really ask yourself, is this what you need to keep in your life? Because it does affect the health overall. And of course, the toughest thing to do tends to be for us to look in the mirror and own our own stuff. So if this applies to you, oh, I'm the one that's the drama queen all of the time and making a big emotional deal out of everything, then this, of course, is yet another blessing and gift with this beautiful harvest moon. Wednesday, Mercury's day, we've got Mercury in Virgo making an opposition to Saturn retrograde in Pisces. The Mercury opposition Saturn is the details as far as trying to figure out and sort through where the communication has become blocked. Saturn is the block, and Mercury, very happily placed in the sign of Virgo, it's at its best, is this opponent as far as where is the negative thinking. Mercury opposition Saturn, and trying to get a grasp, a handle on not only the communication style that we have, but the communication style and the negativity of others. If you are an environment, a work environment, for instance, because Saturn ties into work and the career, Mercury with Virgo is very productive, loves to do the work. Anything Virgo loves to do work that they are devoted to. So if you are in a work environment, Mercury opposition Saturn, the career, where the communication is too negative, too gossipy, too backstabbing, then of course this is something that would need to be addressed and questioned. Because even if you are not partaking in the backstabbing gossip, you're hearing it, you're in that energy, and this Mercury opposition Saturn is very frustrating. It can be depressing if and when the communication overall is not positive and productive. Mercury in Virgo wants things to produce. This is what Virgo does. It's a perfectionist, is so into their work that they love, and if it's constantly being frustrated and or blocked because of negative conversations and or gossip, that is not productive at all. Mercury opposition Saturn tying into gossip and backstabbing is destructive. It's more than just a block. It's destructive, and it must stop. So this is a major aspect that we are having. Thursday, September 19th, we have Venus in Libra making an opposition to the moon in Aries. Now, this opposition to the moon with the love planet Venus, this is the frustration of the I versus we in a relationship. Venus is the sign of marriage, compromise, getting along. How are we doing together in this relationship? The moon in Aries is the I factor, meaning the moon is what we need and what we're hungry for. Aries is This is what I want, what I like, what I need. Aries being the first sign, the newborn baby of the zodiac. So this Venus moon opposition, two feminine planets, Venus and the moon, dealing with and trying to figure out where is the correct balance as far as what I need, moon in Aries, versus what do we need in the relationship. Venus, especially in Libra, is all inclined to just keep the peace, let things roll, let's just keep the harmony. Yet at the same time that is happening, we could think of the moon as the inner child, which it is, and all of the needs of the inner child, which are essential, they are required. The I versus we dynamic with this Venus opposition, the moon, and the questions of, well, how willing am I to compromise and get along in the relationship? Where am I selfish in the marriage and in the relationship? What am I willing to just let it go to keep the peace? Venus in Libra. Also, this is of utmost importance. Libra and Venus is about the fun. Venus rules over laughter and pleasure and amusement parks and beauty. Where's the beauty in the relationship? Is this a beautiful relationship? So where is the fun and the laughter? Because of course, if it's all work and no play in your individual life and in your marriage and all of your relationships, your friends, your co-workers, where is the happiness and joy? And if that is blocked because of selfishness and just everybody only concerned with their own needs and wants, then this is highlighted with this Venus opposition, the moon. So the beauty, the laughter, the fun, the cooperation and harmony, when people get along, when there is cooperation, that is when we advance. When people are in conflict and fighting and disconnected, it's discordant, then we don't move forward. We do not advance in the personal, private relationships within ourselves and with the civilization, the culture. When we get when we get along, we move forward. We can advance. When we don't, well, then we're pretty much not going much of anywhere. This is a major aspect here, right after that full moon eclipse, which was very much about what needs to go because it's too emotional, too heavy, draining, and unhealthy. Friday, Venus's day, September 20th, we do have the moon moving into her exaltation placement of Taurus, ruled by Venus. How sweet is that? And on this day, we have the sun in Virgo making an opposition to Neptune in Pisces. So the sun opposition Neptune with the moon exalted. This is working through where the confusing emotions can take place. Sun in Virgo is very clear, it's very precise, it's very scientific and detail oriented. The Neptune retrograde in the sign of Pisces is giving yourself the time and space to sort through what can be very confusing emotions. Also, the sun in Virgo is very supportive of give me the facts, give me the proof, the science, what is really real, as opposed to where have the convoluted, confusing emotions, Neptune retrograde in Pisces, where have those confusing emotions perhaps clouded your judgment, perhaps seeing things through an extremely unrealistic lens. So on this Venus's day, Friday, the sorting through what helps you to ground and feel very rooted and stable, sun in Virgo, with Mercury in Virgo, in opposition to what confuses you, what makes you feel ungrounded in the sense of, well, I don't even feel like I'm in my own body, rooted in my physical being. Neptune retrograde again in Pisces. Where are the irrational fears, the anxieties, the things that cause you stress? This is the Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Now, because this is the health axis we're looking at, Virgo, Pisces, the physical and then the psychological and emotional health. One of the things, of course, that always helps to ground us and get back in our body, connected to our body, always nature, any kind of exercise, could be going for a walk, and also doing hard work. Because when we do what I call the grunt work, the heavy stuff, then hard physical work, whatever that means for you, maybe it's gardening, whatever it may be, but whenever we do hard physical work, that is so essential for our health because it connects us to our body. We can't be up in our head, lost out in space, if you're doing heavy physical work, or what I call the grunt work, which is so necessary. So physical labor, hard work, gets us back into a healthier, more balanced state of being. So for this Friday, if nothing else, make a point of exercising the body so that you will feel more clear and balanced with this Sun opposition, Neptune retrograde in Pisces. This will help you out a lot. If you feel like, well, you've just been too much up in your head, overthinking everything, it has been intense with the emotional full moon, this will help you out to do something physical. Saturday, September 21st, we still have the moon exalted in Taurus, and I love one of the aspects we're having today, which is we've got the moon exalted in Taurus, making a beautiful Earth trine flow to Mercury at home in Virgo. So Moon Mercury in Earth, making this beautiful supportive trine aspect. This is when the communication between the moon, your feelings, your desires, what you love, moon exalted in Taurus with Venus, to Mercury, which is saying, yes, we're going for it. We're very strong and powerful here. This is a lot of dignity. The conditions are very right to not only communicate what it is that you want. If you're a writer, any form of communication, it's also beautiful and supportive for negotiating a fabulous money deal. Earth has to do with business and abundance and making money. So the moon trine Mercury in the element of Earth is just the flow of not only communication and negotiation, but it's extremely harmonious for making a beautiful deal. Even if you're not trying to close or make a beautiful deal, then doing the work that you love and are devoted to, it's just supportive with whatever you are trying to produce in your life. It could be the decision for better health. It could be the decision to make everyone at the negotiating table very happy and satisfied with the deal, which is the best part of everyone walking away from the table happy with what they are getting in a deal. Also, because the moon ties into home, and moon exalted in Taurus is beauty ruled by Venus. This could be redecorating your home, renovating your home, moving, because Mercury is about moving, anything home-based, bringing in new children. Maybe perhaps you've decided on getting a pet. They're members of the family too. But this aspect is just superb for anything home, work, abundance, negotiation. Moon trine Mercury. I love it. Beautifully placed in the signs that they are in. So we are closing out this very intense week. A lot of emotion, a lot of emphasis on what needs to be eclipsed because it's too much, not good for the health. Yet we are closing out the week with a lovely, supportive, harmonious aspect about making your life not only healthier, but your home, family, and all the things connected to where and how you live. Moon trine Mercury in the element of Earth, the ground you stand on, the body that you live in. Wonderful aspect as we close out the week on this Saturday, September 21st. Thank you, everyone. Have a fabulous week. Also, I've started a new series on my YouTube channel called Wheel of Healing Astrology, where we take a look at the daily astrology and see where the potential is for greater health and healing. My YouTube channel is called Voice of Astrology. I also post my podcast there, but check out Wheel of Healing Astrology, see if it's of interest to you, if you like it. Thank you, and I will see you all in the stars. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you.